Let me see. Who we got? We got Sharon. Yeah, what's today? What? Sharon, your birthday was last weekend. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Hold on. Thursday. Yesterday was your birthday. Well, happy belated birthday, Sharon. Glad to see that the card got there. Very cool. It's always good when you go to mail something out and the recipient gets it. Let's see. She got lots of happy mail. Hello, Tracy and Froggy and Becky. Um, I did send out an email to everyone just to let you know that Becky did say if you're going to participate in making those cards to send to her, that she needs the envelopes as well. Um, Tracy's on it. She's already got her cards done. You said that you needed them, what, by September 20th, Becky? Hey, Terry. You needed them by the 20th? I think that's probably one of the things that we'll work on this weekend. Oh, look, Terry's on it too. She mailed hers already. Cool. You guys are on it. You know, if I didn't have to do something like work, you know, maybe I would have things done and not, have done my Throwback Thursday posted early this afternoon. And then projects for tonight. Yeah, I actually started them this afternoon and managed to get everything done by 5. It's not been a good week as far as work goes. So I think this weekend is going to be spending some time finding another job because I am like so over it right now. Yeah, I'm just so done. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah. And then of course last weekend I kind of told you how things went with that, with the whole resurfacing the parking lot and all of that debacle mess and everything. So yeah, so hoping Terry shorted her by 2 envelopes. I will tell you guys, because I've been sending out so many cards, between the birthdays and every Friday and all that, you know, I do have the Stampin' Up ones, but honestly, when they had them on sale in Hobby Lobby, I mean, you get 100 envelopes in a pack, and I think here the regular price is like $8.49 or $8.99, and when they're on sale, that's even better. Let me move this up. It looks like this thing is kind of like falling down a little bit. But when they're on sale for like 40% off, then it's like, yeah, that's the best time to go and buy them and stock up. So, yeah, I got plenty of envelopes. So, anything else that's going on? Um, I don't think there is anything. You're gonna look at the top of my head and my hair. It desperately needs to be colored. Um, yes, Sharon, you do. You do. I mean, even like I said, when they decided to change the packaging up on the basic white cardstock, yeah, that too. But I didn't buy that from Hobby Lobby. No, I ordered, I ordered that online. I think I have enough. I mean, how much is in a box? I want to say there's two. 250 sheets. I'm looking at the box. I can't quite make out how many, but there's a lot of sheets in there. This thing is like, it's wanting to kind of lower, and I don't know why it's looking to do that. So tonight, we are not going to have like a 3 hour live. I'll tell you what, after last Saturday, man, my feet were killing me after I was done. It was like I couldn't wait to like just sit down and relax and yeah. Oh, and I did have that nice big cup of pina colada. Actually, I've had a few of those throughout this past week. It's been that kind of week, and I think that even after this is all done, I think even tonight there's going to be another one in store as well, or something of some kind of alcoholic beverage. Yeah, it's been that kind of week. So, but yeah, we yeah, last Friday we had a lot to talk about, a lot of things that were happening, regarding, the stamps and the markers and all that. I'm not covering that all again because, yeah, that took an hour alone just to talk about all that stuff. So yeah, that was like close to 3 hours last Friday. So we're not going to go anywhere near that. I'm actually going to try and have this a lot less than 2 hours. The projects are not too bad. I mean, once you got them like pre-cut and everything and you see what it is that you're putting together, it goes by so much quicker than as opposed working on creating them, um, up front. So we got that. And as far as announcements go, there's not a whole lot. I mean, it's the same thing that I've pretty much mentioned like last Friday and the past few weeks, especially that 2025 to 2027 in color sale, the 15% off those products. That sale is actually going to be over on Sunday. So if there was anything with those new in colors that you wanted that is on sale, be sure to jump on that. I did order a pack each of the new in color cardstock because those are pretty colors. I like those colors, and what a better time to get them is when they're on sale. Um, Other than that, oh, and I did mention from last Saturday there was another stamp set that was a pre-order item from the Holiday Mini that I spoke about. I have that right here, so I'm going to show that to you. Other than that, I don't have anything else that's new. You can see I kind of put that paper in there, embellishments in there, stamp sets and the dies are all over on that shelf over there. So there's a lot of stuff, and at some point, if I ever get the opportunity to, I seriously need to like go through stuff and probably either sell some of the stuff or what, because there's a lot and I'm starting to run out of room in here. Either that or I just need a house with a bigger studio maybe. Hmm. One day, one day, one day, one day. And when that day comes, you guys will know about it. Um, Let me see. So, okay. So I'm just looking at the comments. Yvonne is going to be here. Now, when she gets here, I don't know. Hubby's going to be dropping her off, and she's going to be spending the whole weekend. So she'll be here tomorrow and Sunday, and then Monday, actually, her hubby's got to work, and he's going to pick her up when he is done. So it's gonna be kind of like a long weekend with Yvonne. Um, what else? I think that's it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move these lights a little bit, and I am going to flip this, and We're gonna get started because honestly, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. The only thing I've had, coffee. Important stuff, coffee. This thing is like I can see my phone is going down. The stand, I don't know what's up with the stand, but for some reason I lifted this phone up and I was able to see the top edge of this calyx unit. Now I'm seeing below it. So I don't know. Hopefully the stand's not on its way out. So let me go ahead and flip this, and we'll get this all set up. We'll bring this down. And not too low because we don't want the thing freaking out like it always does when it tries to focus in on things. Okay. My sound is muted. I have the do not disturb on, so we're all good. So, as you probably noticed, like I always have it up there at the very beginning, I do have that spreadsheet opened up to where you can add your name if you would like to be in the drawing for one of tonight's cards. I did notate in that pinned comment that when we do the drawing at the end, you do need to be present. Um, that way, if you know, if I end up calling your name and you're not here, then it kind of puts me on the spot now. Okay, we got to kind of move on because, yeah, it tends to go a little long at the very end after a long video to begin with. So to make it fair, you know, you do have to be present to win, and it doesn't matter if you're here in the US or not. I can mail cards anywhere. It's just Stampin' Up product that I can't send, to other countries and things like that. Let's see. What else? Anything else? Oh yeah, and if you are a new winner, meaning you've never received any mail from me at all, my email address is also in that pinned comment. So then that way at the end, if you win a card, you can send me an email with your mailing address. And if you can send it like tonight or first thing in the morning, so then that way I can actually try and get it out in the mail tomorrow morning. And then I can kind of like just, it can be on its way to you. Right. So let's start. So again, like I mentioned about the 2025 to 2027 in color products that are 15% off. Sunday's the last day for this sale. After that, they're no longer on sale. I did mention last week, now this has, the registration for this hasn't opened up yet. This is for World Card Making Day, and I really needed to redo that. So this is the kit that they will be creating. Now, World Card Making Day, the registration, it is a free event. It's for not just demonstrators, it's also for customers as well. This kit will be available September 3rd. That is a big day. That is the day that the holiday mini catalog goes live. It's the day that some of the well, blah, 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 the new online exclusive items are going to be going live. And then the registration for World Card Making Day will open up. This kit will be one of the kits that will be available. And I don't know if this is considered one of two or three kits that will also come out on the 3rd as well. So a lot of things happening on the 3rd. Again, the registration for this, uh, it is free. It's a free event, but you do want to register because Stampin' Up! Has mentioned that by registering, you will get emailed to you the link to the platform in which they're going to hold the event. And also, I don't know if it's going to be right away. It could be a day or two after. The replay of it will be available. So if you weren't able to attend and watch the whole thing, you'll be able to go back and watch it again. And plus, they also said that there was going to be a free gift for everyone who registers as well. So this, again, this is going to open up on the 3rd. Yeah, on September 3rd. Does it give a time? It doesn't say what time it's, so it's probably going to be midnight Mountain Time when it opens up. And then the last day to register for it will be October 3rd at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, and they say the recorded content will be available immediately following the event. So again, the kit, you get a stamp set, 10 cards and envelopes, a card organizer, shaped labels, twine, glitter adhesive, embellishments, and a mini ink pad. That's the handmade and heartfelt kit. So that'll be out there on the 3rd. And then, like I've mentioned in previous lives, that every live that I do, whether it's live or it's a kind of live, meaning it's pre-recorded, for my Fridays, I do create a PDF for every one of them. So here's the Boho Vibes one. This is already done, already out there on the Google Drive. The little paragraph that's right above the list of supplies, that's got the link to take you to my Google Drive, and that is where you'll find it. I have all of them out there since January 26th of 2024. And the link right here, if you click on that, it's going to take you right back to the video. So in this, you got the list of supplies. There's pictures of the projects, dimensions for cutting the cardstock. If there's any stamping on the cardstock, I got that stuff listed too. So if you like the projects and you want to recreate them, you can pull this. They are free, and you can watch the video while you create as well. So with that, let's talk about what we are going to be using tonight. So we are using the Boho Vibes suite. So it's the Sunshine Vibes stamp set and the set of dies. So not many stamps in it. You got some greetings. And then what I like about the rainbow in this is that, you know, it looks kind of whimsical like, and it looks just like a really fun bundle to play with. And then with that, there is also designer series paper. Now this is like 2 packs of paper. So I've got 1 pack when I did what do you call it? When I did that sweet sale, that buy one get one half off that they had. So when I got the sweet, I had 1 pack, and then this paper too is also part of the 15% off sale too. So I got another pack through that too. So in here, I mean, there's some interesting colors in here. Cajun Craze, Cloud Cover, Daffodil Delight, Mossy Meadow, Petal Pink, and Secret Sea. So for some reason, these colors seem to work together. They just look like they work together. And then these are the muted palette dots. These 2 are on sale. So you have Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, Cloud Cover, and Mossy Meadow in here. And I think, yep, that's all that's in this particular suite. So let me pull out this stuff because we're going to need it. And let's get started on our first card. So the first card is basically our simpler card of the 3. I mean, not that any of these are really difficult or hard, but it's more like do I want to say like a cleaner type of layout? Okay, so for my card base, I have basic white thick that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Secret Sea that measures 5 by 3 3/4. Is she here? Hold on. Yeah, she's here. I thought I heard the chime on the door. And then basic white, this is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And then I have a piece that measures 2.5 by 1/2. for our little greeting. So let me fold and burnish our card base. Okay. And then we're going to bring this in. We're going to do some stamping on here. We're also going to stamp on the inside. Okay, I want my piercing mat. And we need our stamps. So what the cards that I came up with tonight. Oh, I didn't show this.
Hello.
Hello. Yvonne's here. This is what I meant to say that I was going to show you, and I almost forgot to show you. This was the other stamp set that was in the that's in the new holiday mini catalog called Petal Arrangements. Now, what's interesting about this stamp is that it's basically like a background stamp, but what's nice about it is you can actually pull it apart, so then you can stamp these images individually, and then you can put it all back together to then just create a whole background with all these images together as if it's a background stamp. So that's the other stamp set that I wanted to show you that was new. Let me move that out of the way. And by the way, that video that haul video that I did on last Saturday, that has quite a few views on it. There's like almost 300 views on it. I was kind of blown away by it. I guess that's what people like to see, are those haul videos. Okay. So, let's see. What do we want here? We want our half circle. We want our little crescent circle. We want our leaf. And then we want our hello. Okay. And what did I use inside of this? Oh, then we got these little dots right here. All right. We need our blocks. And that's too big. Seriously, I need to wash these blocks. They're a little dirty. Okay, and then have our little dots right here. Okay, and then the ink colors that I am going to use, I have Cajun Craze, Daffodil Delight, whoops, and Secret Sea, and hold on, my cloud cover little spot is opening up on me. And then I got Mossy Meadow. Now I do have the full-sized ink pad for this, but I don't know what's up with that ink pad, because I have actually replaced Mossy Meadow a few times. There's times where, you know, it's a new pad or I've re-inked it, but then when you stamp, it's almost like as if it's dried out. So for some, I don't know. It's probably that whole foam pad and the ink, and something's up with it. Don't know, but I pulled in my little ink spot for that. And then, as you know, the full size ink pad for cloud cover, because there was the issue with it. The suggestion was to be able to have cloud cover ink was to get the re-inker, and then you can get the uninked ink spots, and then you can add re-inker to that. What else was there? Or they do sell like a 5-pack of the little ink spots, and this is one of the colors, and actually that's part of that 15% off sale too. All right, so to start off on this, I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight. Now my Daffodil Delight, for some reason, is like way too inky when I go to ink up, and I apologize that I am shaking this, what do you call it, the phone. Yeah, it just seems like even though I pressed that ink in, it just seems like it's still too inky when I go to use it. So I'm just kind of cleaning off that spoon so I don't get ink all over the place. All right, so then I'm going to take this half circle right here, and we're going to create a full circle. So these projects are basically that you'll find them in the annual catalog, and I just changed them up a little bit. Just added like a little bit more, or I changed up the coloring, the colors that were used, but it's still all the colors that are in that designer series paper. All right, so I'm going to stand over this, and hopefully I can get this lined up even. Not too bad. It's okay. All right, whoops, I need that. So that's the Daffodil Delight. And then let me clean that stamp because I now need it for my Cajun Craze. Let's see, Cajun Craze. All right, so this one, you know, Cajun Craze is one of those colors that some people just do not like the color. I actually do. I think Cajun Craze is an awesome color for fall. Okay, I'll clean this. All right, so we're done with this one. And now let's pull in Secret Sea. And we're going to do this crescent. I'll call it a crescent moon. That's what it looks like to me. And then we'll stamp that right there. Okay. And then while we got this color out, let's bring in our greeting and our hello. And what I want to do is I'm going to stamp this closer over to the left-hand side rather than the middle. That right about there. Okay, we'll set that aside. And then we got our leaf and our Mossy Meadow ink. Yeah, it's definitely like a rust color. And you know, and like I said, with the color that's in the paper, it's an interesting color combination, but when you look at the paper, it's like the colors just work together. All right, then I'm gonna take this leaf and I'll stamp that right there. Okay, and then while I have this out, I'm going to stamp the inside of my card. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. Put that right there. And then let me ink up this leaf again. I don't need the whole leaf. I'm only going to stamp part of it. Okay. And then we'll come over here in the corner. And we'll stamp that down. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in Secret Sea again. And there's this one stamp that has this cluster of these little dots. So I'm going to take this and stamp off, and then just add some around this leaf. Like so. We can add one more. Like so. There we go. So that's all our stamping. So let's get this out of the way. Okay, we'll close that up. And we'll burnish it again. And then I'm going to take this piece and add it to my Secret Sea. Okay, and then we're going to pop this up onto our card base. Yeah, the sample that's in the catalog, they don't have a color layer on it. Actually, when you look at the card, the way the cardstock is cut, it's very, very close and similar to the next card that we'll be making. So I wanted to change it up a bit and add something. So I decided to add this Secret Sea layer to it and just add a little bit more to the card. So let's put that right there. And then on our greeting, we're going to pop this up too. This thing is like focusing in and out. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Okay, and then the hello is going, we're going to butt this up right up against this white layer right here. And place it like so. And then for our matte dots, where's the matte dots? There they are. We're going to use the Mossy Meadow ones on here. So there's two different sizes of these. And go on and add that there. Kind of like the shade of this green of these embellishments. And the one up there. Okay. Gotta move those out of the way. And there is the first card. Even got the inside. I'm getting better with doing insides. So there's that first card. Okay. Now the second one. Card. And let me quickly clean these stamps. Let's see. I think we did get this one. Is this still wet? Let me add a little bit more. I had to add more to this bottle today. So does everything sound okay? Does anything sound scratchy or anything like that? You know, I did go back. Usually I don't go back and watch, you know, the videos that I do. But last weekend I was doing something and I decided to play the video that was of the haul from last Saturday. And I noticed that it's like I sounded you know, the sound seemed kind of low during the live, but then my goodness, when an ad ended up coming on, it was like really loud. Okay, no scratchiness, that's good. All right, so let me, we're gonna need that one. Let me see what I got here and what I need for the inside. Okay, I know what I gotta do for the, whoops, I'm dropping stuff. We don't want to drop all our little pieces. Okay. Pull this all out. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to need these sun rays. Actually, let me just stick these in here. All right. So for this one, I have a piece of Petal Pink. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have another piece of Petal Pink. I die cut. There's 2 dies in here that do the rainbow. Let me show you really quick. So you have one that does an outline, and then you have this one here that will cut. It won't cut out the actual rainbow, but it will cut it out of the cardstock itself. So this is the one that I had used for that. Okay, then for the inside, I have a piece of Very Vanilla. This measures 5 1/4 by 4. I have a piece of the Boho Vibes Designer Series paper. This measures 4 by 3 11/16. Now, the reason why it's 11/16 is that I wanted it to be just a little bit smaller than the cardstock, so that way I can glue this down, but then wouldn't have it showing off on the sides. Then ahead of time, out of a piece of cloud cover cardstock, I stamped the Thanks and Darling. They're two separate, they are two separate stamps in here. And I stamped it on the cloud cover, and then I die cut it using the Stylish Shapes die. So I used this banner piece right here. And then what I did, so I stamped it, so when I die cut it and I stamped it, I have it stamped more towards the right side. And then I measured this and I trimmed it down to 2.5 inches. And I think that's all the pieces to this one. All right, so I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. As well. Yeah, Froggy, that's the thing. I'm sitting there watching it, and it's like I had to turn myself up to be able to hear it. And then it's like, soon as an ad comes on, I'm like, whoa, it's like not so loud. I mean, I can't exactly put a at one time I used to put a microphone into the phone, but the problem is I need to actually keep it plugged in so I don't have a dead battery before the video is over. So, and I don't really have any room on this desk to go and put a microphone anywhere, so have to figure something out. All right, so we have that. And then the inside of our card, let me bring in my, whatchamacallit, my, what's this thing called again? Piercing mat. And my scrap paper. I want Daffodil Delight. And let's see, I want to take my little raise here, put that on a block. All right, so I'm going to take this half circle and I'm going to stamp this up in the corner, getting the very corner of the cardstock, and I didn't quite get it. Hold on. Okay, now I got it. And then we'll do this side. Okay, and then we got our raise here. So I am going to take this edge here, and this is going to be kind of like the middle. I'll stamp it once, and then stamp it again. And do the same thing over here. And then again over there. Okay, so that's the inside. So let's take our seal. We'll add this to the inside of our card. Okay, we'll set that aside. And then I am going to take my paper. Now let's see which way I want to have this situated. Let's see. I want it like that, so I'm going to turn it over. And I want to glue this closer to the top than on the bottom. So I just want to be mindful where I'm putting the glue down here. And where's my liquid glue? I'm also going to pop this up too, so and we're going to do that nifty little glue tip with that that silicone brush that we've done in the past. We'll do that for the last card. Let me get some on these pieces here so that way it kind of holds it down. So then I want to take this and I'm going to put that up near the top like so. Okay, so there we go. And then what do I want to do next? Oh, shoot. Shoot. No, I messed up. But let's see if we can fix this. I meant to stamp a sun. I meant to stamp the sun beforehand, and I'm going to end up destroying the paper. So let's see if I can fix this and stamp this without getting any ink on that designer series paper. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to stamp another sun. So I'm going to ink this up and put that right there. And then we'll do the raise. So let me bring this, and didn't even bring in this foam pad to do the sun, but it looks like it's stamped okay. And then over here, now let's see how this looks. Well, I didn't want that to show like that, but you know what? We're putting a bow over that, so maybe we will cover that up and you won't even know. Okay, so let me close this up. And then I'm going to take the thanks and I'm going to, actually I'll just add some glue onto this. And then we'll line this up right here. Okay, and then we're going to take this whole piece and we're going to pop this up. So let me get my dimensionals. And we're going to use some of these edge pieces, because this is what's perfect with the edge pieces, is that when you got a big piece like this that you want to, and when you do this, when you snip this, just make sure your fingers aren't in the way. I'm always mindful, please don't cut your finger, please don't cut your finger, please don't cut your finger. Because I'll get, you know, start cutting, you know, and next thing you know, we don't want blood on our cards. So we'll use, let's see, put that there. I'll add this in the middle so that way we don't have a sagging middle of our card. Let me move that out of the way. We're doing good on time, guys. We're at 48 minutes and second card, so we're doing good. Okay, now let's take this, add it to our card front, like so. Okay, let's move those stamps out of the way. And then I'm going to need these scissors. Now the ribbon that I am going to be using, this is the white 1/4 inch width ribbon. This ribbon, I believe, is it textured notes of texture, something like that. It's part of that suite. And so I'm going to do a bow, and hopefully we can put it on here where you really won't see that. Yeah, when you go to stamp the sun and the rays, do that before you glue the paper. Just have this part covered up that you don't get any ink on that section of that rainbow. See, and I'm looking right at the finished card. I'm looking at the PDF, And yeah, and just totally missed that. All right, glue dots. I like to add 2, one on either side of the knot. This is really nice ribbon. I like this ribbon. And then we're going to place this right here. There you go. See, we covered it up. Wouldn't even know that I goofed. I guess when you've done this for a while, you can say you are a professional. And then we'll trim and not cut the cardstock. Hold on. Sorry if I'm blocking it. This is what happens when you're a lefty. Okay. Now we got one more thing to add. We got those matte dots that we're going to add. And let's see, let's get rid of that. And we can put those away. Get that out of the way. And then for this one, we're going to use the Petal pink ones. And let's add one there. And then 2 of the smaller ones up there. So these have a little bit of a lift to them. So you will probably need to put like a postcard, piece of cardstock. Some have even used like bubble wrap to kind of protect the top of it in the envelope, so that way the postal machine doesn't destroy it when it runs through. So there's our second card. Covered up that little boo-boo. Looks good. And then we even got something on the inside as well. Second card. Now for our third one. So let me clean these stamps because there's like ink all over them. Looks like I got a little aggressive with that Daffodil Delight because it's all over the block. Make sure that's cleaned. Okay, so now we're gonna need our Cajun Craze ink. And where's my third card? Right there. And so one of the samples that's in the catalog is all those little intricate pieces to create the rainbow. That's what we're doing with this one. And I have actually changed up the coloring a little bit on this. They had a Daffodil Delight card base. Daffodil Delight's a bit of a bright color, so instead of using that for my card base, I decided I'm going to use cloud cover. So again, just like all the other cards, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. For the inside, I have a piece of basic white that's 5.25 by 4. Then I have 2 more pieces of basic white. This one measures 4.25 by 4. This one is 4 1/8 by 3 7/8, and I use that outline rainbow to die cut this out of this piece. And then I have a piece of Petal pink. This measures 5.5 by 1/2. We're going to stamp our Hello Darling on here, and then we're going to use our punch. This is the Happy Labels Pick a Punch. We're going to use that to trim the ends, and we're going to the size of this after we're done is going to be what is it? It's going to be 3 7/8 by 1/2 when we're done stamping our greeting and all that. Okay, so I need the little dots. And what else did I need for this one? I need the hello, darling. So hello, darling. Okay, and then we don't need these pieces. And we got that. Okay. Now let me get some of these blocks out of the way because we got a lot going on here. Now to stamp the greeting, you could put both of the stamps on the same block, but because this is photopolymer, you can do it this way too. All right. Move that out of the way. So what I want to do, I'm going to take my punch. Now you got two edges. You got the scalloped edge, and then you got this one that looks more like a postage stamp edge. We want the scalloped. So I'm going to slide this in there. And I'll trim that end. And then I'm going to bring in, let's see, I think we can do it with this. I am going to trim this. I said, what was it, 3 7/8? Yeah. So 7/8 is actually the two little lines before the 4. So I'm actually going to do 4 on this because we're going to trim the other end with our scallop. Now the reason why I am doing this part first is so then that way it'll be a little bit easier on where I place the greeting. So we will punch this end. So we got our scallops. All right, and then let me bring this in. And we do have 3 7/8, right? Yep. All right, so the greeting, I'm going to stamp that in Cajun Craze. And let's get our hello. And we'll stamp that right there. And then let's get our darling. And let's stamp that right there. There we go. There's our hello, darling. And then I'm going to bring in my cloud cover ink. And we'll set that aside. Let's get, well, I don't think I need the paper for this. So I'm going to take my card base and fold and burnish that. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp these little dots. That is cloud cover. Just make sure that's cloud cover and not the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stamp like 3 of these over on either side. Now this will dry a little bit lighter. And then we want it on this side too. Okay, so that's our card front. Now I want to also kind of carry that into the inside as well. So I'm going to bring in this piece and I'm going to stamp this along the bottom. Turn it. There we go. So we'll close this up and we'll move that aside. For some reason with that ink spot, the lids don't exactly want to stay on them. They don't snap on. So that lid likes to come off of that thing. All right. So I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to adhere it to the inside of my card. And we're at the end of our seal. And got another one here. Yeah, the color combination, it is interesting, but it looks good together actually. Make sure I don't have no adhesive all over the edge of that. It's kind of like on my fingers. Okay. So let's take that in, pop it together. And we'll place this in here. So, okay, then I am going to take, let's see, what did I do on here? I think, okay, I'm just thinking here for a second. I think I adhered. You know, I just made this card this afternoon. You would think that I would remember how I put it together. All right, so we are going to place this piece right here. I could have stamped a little bit further out on that. So we're going to put that there. And then on this piece, we're going to pop this up. So let's bring in our dimensionals. So it's easier to put this on first before putting all the other little pieces on here, because then that way you can see exactly where you're lining up all those pieces. And let's see, just too long. Nope, I'll place that right there. We got a little piece here, maybe we can fit this right there. Okay, we got another sheet done. Let's see, do I got more over here? Yep. One right there. One there. And then let me get my little ones and add Okay. When I looked at, so one of the things that we have is there's like a sample recipes. Is that, I don't know if that's the right terminology, for all the projects that you see in the catalog. All it does is it lists the list of supplies that were used. Now on this particular card, they what's interesting is that they used window sheets, but I'm thinking, okay, the it was like the window sheet was probably attached to this piece, and then all of the rainbow pieces were like popped up. So the thing is with these die cut pieces for the rainbow, there are like holes for, with the design in them. So if you were to put a dimensional behind that, you're going to see it through those little openings. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, we're not going to do window sheets. We're just going to take these pieces and we're going to glue them down. So for that part, the other option, so you can do what the way that I'm going to do it, or the other option is if you have the adhesive sheets, you can put the adhesive sheet on the back of the cardstock first, and then die cut the pieces, and then you already have the adhesive on there instead of using like the liquid glue. But we are going to use the liquid glue, but we're going to do a neater, cleaner way of adding glue to our pieces. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this Hello Darling piece, add some adhesive to this, and I'm going to place this right here. Scooch it over a little bit. Okay, stick that down. All right, so we're going to take our glue, and then we got our little silicone brush. Now this is one of the small silicone brushes. All I did was I trimmed off most of the bristles that were on this, so now it's kind of short. And what's nice about, I kind of think it's really cool on adding the glue to your die cut pieces in this way. It's kind of fun. Dab, dab, dab. Add some glue on here, enough so I don't have to add any more. Okay. And then we're going to start off with our Secret Sea piece here. So I'm just going to tap this in there and then tap the back. You want to kind of hold your piece because you don't want glue to get on the top part of it. And then I'm going to add this piece right here. Like so. And then we got this little star right here. So I'll add some glue to that. Place that right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take this bigger piece here. This is going to be the top of our rainbow. Move that down, kind of get into the view. And let's see. Move that up a little bit. Okay. Press that down. And then we have our Cajun Craze, our little squiggly piece here. Okay, now to pick this up. Bring the card in so you could see what I'm doing. And then we're going to add this right around our secret sea piece there. And then we have our cloud cover. Okay, and then that will go right here. Okay, and then we have these two Mossy Meadow vine pieces. And this one will go right here. And then our other one will go in the other direction. Let's find a clean spot on our okay. Move that out of the way. And then this piece will go, whoops, it'll go right here. So of course my fingers are still a little sticky. All right. So we got those pieces down. Then for the embellishment, we're just going to use one of these larger Daffodil Delight ones. And we're going to place that right there in the middle of that star. Wow. Hour and 12 minutes. And all 3 cards are done. Yay! We kept the time down. Yay, yay, yay. So there is the 3rd card. So we used all those little designed intricate dies to create a really cool rainbow. Now again, I changed up the card base from Daffodil Delight to Cloud Cover. The Daffodil Delight was actually this piece right here, and then the star was Cloud Cover. So I just swapped out those 2 colors on there. So I changed it up a little bit than what is in the catalog for the sample. So we got a little bit of that, those dots on the bottom. And I could have stamped these out, like I said, a little bit further out, and then you would have seen them a little bit better. But there's our 3rd card. So let me bring in the other 2. So we started off with this really like simple layout, just a little bit of stamping, layer some cardstock on there and embellish it. And then we got that design kind of carried on into the inside. Our second card, we did a rainbow, but we cut into the cardstock and just added some of that designer series paper behind it. Stamped our little sun and our greeting. And of course, we got a little bit of something on the inside. And then our 3rd one is our rainbow built with all those little intricate rainbow pieces, which I think it's so cool. It really gives it a nice whimsical look. And again, it's not your usual colors that you would see in a rainbow, but again, these are colors in the designer series paper, and they just seem to go very well together. So there are those three cards. So I am going to tidy this up just a little bit. So if you haven't had a chance to yet, um, again, add your name to that spreadsheet. The link is pinned up at the top. Again, you do have to be present when I go to do the drawing, which is going to be as soon as I get this space kind of tidied up a little bit so I can bring the laptop in. Let's see. Yes, calming colors. Oh. So, and then the cleaning up this glue, if you're new, I know you guys had seen this. So when the glue dries, you can like just use your finger and you can like rub it off, or you can use Scotch tape to remove that. Now the glue, the dry glue that's in the brush, this was another trick that I saw Barb Mullican do. Scotch tape. I mean, you can use Scotch tape to pick up the glue, but you can take your brush and just kind of mush it into that and wiggle it a little bit, and it'll pull the glue out. Now you probably got to let the glue dry a little bit more, but it'll pull all that glue out of those bristles. That's what's really pretty cool about this. Pretty cool. Okay, so I got all of the glue out of that. And then again, you can use this to pull the glue right off of your silicone craft sheet. So I'm not going to do that right now. That's going to take a little bit. I'm going to kind of take these things and put them in there. Kind of get it out of the way. What do I got to do here? Clean this up. And again, the PDF, like I said, is already out there on the Google Drive. So the link to that is that last paragraph right above the list of supplies. What do I want? I want this. All right, so we got that. And these ink spots, I don't want the caps coming off on those. Okay, let's move that. And we got this. Let's move this out of the way. All right, so we got our cards, and I got my little sticky notes here. And let's see, let me move this out of the way really quick. So that way we don't have any mishaps. All right, so let's see what we got here. Whoa, you're really crooked. Crooked. All right, let me see. Who do we got here? So we got Becky, Sharon, Froggy, Terry, and Tracy. Is there anybody else who would like to be added? Vaughn, you awake? Yeah, she hasn't said a whole lot. Yvonne, there she is. Would you like your name added? Oh, so we're going to bed early then. Okay. No, you don't want to be added? Okay. Do we have everybody? Is Sharon? Is Sharon? Did I say Sharon? Yeah, Sharon. Becky, Sharon, Froggy, Terry, Tracy. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone. Okay. I'm thinking that that last word you meant to type, Yvonne, is cute. All right, let me disconnect the power cord off of this. Let's move those out of the way. Let's get the laptop in here. And oops, I forgot to do this. Hold on. It's easier for me to do this when it's not laying flat like that. Should have took the names and put them on for the wheel first and then bring it in. Okay, so here we go. Make sure we got everybody, right? Okay. All right. So let's spin this. Terry. It's been a little bit, Terry, since I sent you a card. Number 3. Okay. All right. Second card. Ooh, Becky. Number 1. Okay, so our second card is what we have left. Wow, you're crooked. It's really crooked. I don't know about you. I just like things straight when they need to be straight. Wait, what was I seeing? Okay. Then let's see. Our final card will go to. Ooh, 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 ooh. Whoa! It's right on the line. Wow, just about on the line. Wow. Congratulations, Tracy. Okay, you got card number 2. Let's see. Where's your little sticky? Oh, Deborah. I was just gonna say Deborah wasn't here, but didn't Deborah say that she was having surgery, right? Yeah, gotta lift her up for some quick healing. Okie dokie. So let me get this out of the way and let's kind of wrap it up. We did good tonight, so not even an hour and a half. Awesome sauce. So if you like the projects, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you, well, you guys, I know you have, but if you're here watching the replay, you like the projects, again, give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell. It'll let you know when I post another video and when I go live. Next week, there's going to be quite a bit of content. There is going on the first, I do my monthly Christmas card inspiration, so there'll be a video for that. Then there'll be the Throwback Thursday and next Friday. Now, do I know what I'm going to be using and what I'm going to be doing? Nope. It's a new month, so I gotta kind of sit down and decide what I'm going to use. I may just like go and hit up some of the new stuff that I showed you last Saturday. Let's see, because it's now going to be available for you guys in September. So, um, yeah, so I got to plan out what I'm going to use. So also I have a monthly newsletter. I'll be sending that out on the 3rd of September when I find out what the new kits are and all that. So if you would like to receive my newsletter, there is a link for it in the description. And when I put it together, I will send it out to you. I typically only send one a month unless Stampin' Up! Has a special or a sale or something that comes up in the middle of the month. Also, the video schedule will be out there as well. It'll have everything that I'm doing for my Thursdays, my Fridays, and all that. So, if you would like to subscribe to that, again, the link is in the description. So with that, again, that 15% off on the 2025 to 2027 in color products, that sale is going to end this Sunday. And I think that's all I have. So for those of you that are here in the US, have a wonderful Labor Day. Hope that your weekend is nice and relaxing. Hoping that this one's going to be a lot more relaxing than it was last weekend. Just going to say that. So, with that, everyone, have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.